You're tuned in to Shop Talk, presented by RaceOnTexas.com. Here's your host, Caleb McFarland.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for the few days of a delay, but, things happen in life, and sometimes we just got to roll with them until we can get up and keep running again. But we're going to keep the trend going this week with promoters as they get ready to open up for the 2021 season and kind of give them a chance to talk a little bit about what the things that they have going on. And joining us this week all the way down from the South Texas area, and Edna is going to be one and only Mr. Owen Pittman. Owen, it is great to have you on Shop Talk here this week.
Glad to be here. I tell you what, I've been looking forward to it. I haven't had a chance to get with you and talk through Shop Talk, but I tell you, I've been listening and impressed and enjoy it. So glad to be here.
It's been a busy off season for y'all down there. A lot of improvements. I know that from my time in racing, I know that walls don't move, but y'all just got a new one put up.
Yeah, I tell you what, we obviously as the season progressed last year, I took on that facility and it had an owner, and Kenny and Rachel Densman, good people, and they decided they wanted to sell it and get out of it. And then I took it on because I didn't want it to turn into a trailer park, which is kind of where it was headed. And then I managed to hopefully show that it was worth opening and owning and being a racetrack. And I think we did that. And then it was bought out by Cord Beard, an Edna local Magnum Services, just an outstanding gentleman, young man. He's a young guy and he's got life figured out. He's awesome, really good guy. And he's been busting his butt. And, man, the facility is just getting better and better. The wall, which you talked about, unbelievable, the work they put in on that and the quality of it. If you get a chance to get to Edna and see the work they've done to improve this facility, it's really, really outstanding. I tell you, it'll impress most. This is stuff you see at major racetracks like Texas Motor Speedway and stuff. This is quality stuff, and I couldn't believe it when I looked at it myself. I was like, man, I can't believe y'all went to the lengths you went.
And that wall, it's not like most tracks have, as far as K rails from highways, kind of stacked in there together to make the wall. It's a poured solid wall all the way around, and
yeah, it is. It's poured concrete all the way around. We this section was a section through 3 and 4. It was still boilerplate, and it's been removed and redone. And it's about, man, that thing's about 16 inches thick. It won't move, I promise. And then it's got about 12 foot of catch fence on top of it that is reinforced all the way 4 foot below the concrete, which is already deep. Really impressive. He hot dip galvanized the whole thing. He sleeved every cable. I tell you what, overall, just kudos, Cord Beard and ownership in this deal. Really doing it right. And the wall is very safe, very, very user fan friendly. You can go to a facility and be safe is important.
Absolutely. And, anyone that's been around the motorsports industry, we know and accept one thing is, at the end of the day, whether the races, they're good, they're bad, they're exciting, they're not, safety, that's the number one important thing is, giving people the opportunity to get out and do what they love week in and week out in a safe manner. And man, kudos to y'all for stepping up and really making that effort. I know it's an undertaking, just to make an improvement like that. But it's one of those, it's going to go a long way. It's going to continue to pay off, every time someone decides to, try to get a little edge going into the corner. But
yeah,
go ahead.
You'll miss Caleb. I don't know that you've been to Edna, but
I haven't yet. It's on my to-do list though.
Yeah, you'll miss the stripe. There was an Edna stripe. It's kind of like Darlington stripe. There was that point in time where the track would get so high-ended that you would wind up rubbing that right rear quarter on the wall, and that boilerplate wall would throw some sparks and get people excited. Crowd would go a little bit nuts. Well, guess what? You're going to get a little concrete stripe if you're going to get up that high now. But The wall's important. Overall, the facility just continues to grow and improve and be unbelievable. All the way around, all the wall in this entire property is brand new. So there's nothing old and rusted, and you don't need a tetanus shot to come to this facility. We got you covered. Just come on. If you're allergic to concrete, you might have a problem, but this is all brand new stuff. It's really looking good, man. It's come a long, long ways over the last few years.
So, outside of the, outside of just the retaining wall and catch fence, there in the racetrack, what other kind of projects have y'all been working on to improve the facility, getting ready for a big year in 2021?
Well, overall, we continue to advance everything, but we tore down a large section of grandstands that was overall just old, dilapidated, and didn't belong anymore. It was time to go, and I think most people that might have saw early last year, we had a good storm that knocked one of the light towers down, and that was tied to that grandstand. We realized that grandstand was pretty much condemned, so we had pretty much roped off, piped off, and not allow anybody into that. So there's only a couple of rows in that. So according to them, the team tore that all down. There's no more grandstands there. And another large section of really nice quality aluminum grandstands is ordered. It hadn't quite made it yet, but it's coming. So we got some new grandstands coming. We got a few concession items that have improved and done better there. Thing I'm proud of is, and I got to get off this phone call in a little while and finish out. I got like a 10-foot tall RaceOnTexas. Yes, sir. RaceOnTexas Speed Pass filming tower. So we're putting in a new filming tower that's taller than our press box, and it's going to allow for some great video footage.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so we're putting that brand new this season.
I know Anthony. He's going to have a field day with that. Oh man!
Yeah, he hit me up. Do you want me to come help make sure it's placed in the right spot? I was like, that's a long drive, Anthony. It's a long drive. I said, we'll put it. If I need to move it, I'll move it. But overall, so I've been building on that myself. I'll be honest with you, my 21-year-old daughter does most of the welding on it, and she's an outstanding welder. I worked on her to get it in high school. She won some grand champion prizes in shop projects, and she's now, it's funny because in college, she's going to college and she's going to be an ag teacher, and one of the classes is welding, and the welding teacher gets her to instruct the rest of the kids how to weld.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So she's welding a lot of this deal out for me and really have saved me on time on this. But anyway, we got a really nice stand going up for RaceOnTexas because I tell you what, with Speed Pass, that deal has really developed into a quality piece for us. And man, I work real hard at that. If you'll notice that the armbands, when you come in the pits at Edna, have RaceOnTexas and Speed Pass on them, because I'm really trying to promote this deal as big as I can. It's very important to racetracks. It's very important to the people that want to watch and see it. I love it. I watch it all the time myself. I am a paying customer. What people don't know sometimes, Caleb, is that people think, oh, racetracks get everything for nothing. No,
nope.
I pay my $39.99 every month, just like everybody else, and I enjoy it. And it's worth every dollar. So if I can provide a better spot for them to film from at my racetrack, that's what I want. I've opened up a little more press box space, so maybe we could do more multicam shows. And I really, really working hard, and I'm trying to get with Anthony and work hard on, and Anthony does a great job as well, just making this deal better. Can't say enough about it. I'm super excited for this season with RaceOnTexas and making it better and better.
With you having Speed Pass, what track do you have selected to be your to get your 50% of your subscription? I hope it's going to be Texana, but
it's L87.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Well,
you threw me. I wasn't. I wasn't. I drew a blank on that. That's true. I wasn't expecting you to say L87 on that, but I didn't realize you were involved with them down there as well.
Yeah, I run the whole show for Lawrence and them at L87. So I'm the race director, promoter. I do everything for Lawrence. So I don't get all the speed pass money out of L87, and that's fine. I get it out of Edna, but
Yeah,
I
absolutely. But you at
I
least get to see
work
it
hard at
come
L87.
come to fruition though. Firsthand too.
Yeah, yeah, and L87's great, and I really honestly I can't thank Race on Texas enough. I pushed hard. That comes from me. I really felt like we could develop something that grandparents and grandmas and granddads get the opportunity to watch them little kids race go-karts, and it means something. And they trusted in me to go, okay, we'll send a camera crew down to watch a go-kart race.
Yeah.
And we run that deal just like we run big cars. So just like I run Edna, or I ran South Texas Speedway for 10 years, when I own that, I run L87 the same way. Me and Lawrence run it just like a big track. Only thing, we're running 70 go-karts instead of 70 big cars.
Right.
And our hope is we're putting in a 2-hour show that's valuable to someone to watch and enjoy on Race on Texas. And, it continues to build. I'll be honest with you, the speed pass numbers continue to build every week there. So we're pretty happy with what we got there as well. So we got a couple tracks going. We're working hard at every direction we can here.
And you mentioned right there as far as getting some multicam shows coming in this year, and with that, multicam shows usually mean big races. So with you being the 2020 Promoter of the Year, how are you going to top it? What do you have kind of on deck per se for 2021?
Man, that's tough. I don't know that I can top 2020. I enjoyed 2020. 2020 was challenging yet very fulfilling at the same time. It was good, and I don't know that you can top a year like that. And it was very humbling to receive that honor. I still think that the Kevin and Kevin show up there at RPM, and there's a lot of great racing all over the state of Texas and Louisiana that y'all cover and others cover, and overall it's just there's a lot of great promoters. So it's pretty humbling to be there, but I don't know how you top what we did in 2020 other than you try to be consistent, honest, and fair, and keep what you were already doing in place, and then find every little detail you can that where you might have made a mistake. How do I get that better? And that's kind of my focus, is how do I get that better? I'm working on a few purses. I'm working on a few things that, how do I continue to grow what I got? We went IMCA for mod lights. We were the first ones to do that in Texas, the very first ones in Texas. And we were the only one, and I think Super Bowl Speedway's gone now IMCA mod lights as well. So there might be 2 in the state of Texas, but I tell you what, I think you'll see, if you happen to look at results on my race pass this weekend, I think you're going to find that we're going to have about 30 plus mod lights at my track, because they want to race for that IMCA sanctioning, and they respect it. They like it, just like the mods and the other classes. So it's those are the things we're really trying to grow and make better at Edna in 2021.
And that right there, it's a game changer. I mean, it's a bold leap to make that commitment to do a sanctioning, of any sort in a class. And I'm right there with you. I have a feeling that it's gonna shock some people as far as what the turnouts are going to be, as far as mod lights with IMCA showing up. And there's a lot of chat on social media about it, and it's going to be fun to watch this year as far as the turnouts go. But like you say, it'll be on My Race Pass, and with that My Race Pass, people can, if you all don't know about My Race Pass too much, go to the website that they have down there for almost said wrong thing. At any rate, it's late, man. We're cranking this thing out at 10:30. Go down there to the website that they have for Texana, and go to the website, check out all the events. And My Race Pass does a really, really good job as far as showcasing the schedules, and even doing the live timing, the lineups, and everything. That way you can keep up with everything going on. And I really kind of feel that that My Race Pass is an overlooked thing by a lot of fans and drivers. But I do see that changing, especially with this season. I know a lot of tracks are really stepping up that program, and I mean, y'all have been on it and continue to work with it and improve with it, and you know that's the key to, you know, you said you know, treating everybody fair and honest and being consistent, but you know, that's the key to success when it comes to running any business, and especially in racing, is having that transparency with your drivers, with your fans, so that way they know that and see and trust that they're going to get what they get when they put their money forward.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything bigger. The transparency is important. You know, it's funny because the way our system works is it's a $30 pit pass, and then, you know, it's a $20 fee on the car entry. So it's $50 for a driver to race. And, you know, it's pretty much any track you go to is about $50. And people would tell me all the time, well, so you got a $20 transponder rental and you got this? I said, no, transponder's free. I'm going to give you that with your $50 entry, you know, total.
Correct.
Well, you got to draw. No, you know, people, they get so out of mind that they think that just tracks are going to give them something, you know, going to charge them fees and do things to them to screw them around, kind of, you know. But man, we're here to be honest, straight up, and without racers, we have nothing. So at the end of the day, no, this is what we got. This is what we're going to do every week. And man, we struggle. I'll be honest with you, I'm one of them guys that I'm a racer. So
right. Yeah.
I'm always thinking about how do I improve the business and not screw the racer around. I want to make the racers go, man, this is a place to go and enjoy, that I know I'm going to get a fair shake. And
absolutely.
That's 100% of the business. If you can't feel like you're getting a fair shake, then you don't want to go there, and it gets really tough. So that's about it. You know, in a nutshell, you got to give them a fair shake, and you got to be transparent. Show them, here's everything you're going to do. Here's what it's going to cost you, and here's what you're going to get paid. You know, we kept our same payout. We're 500 to win in every single division. We don't have a pay breakdown when it comes to one class gets less than the next.
Correct.
Every class gets 500 to win. Even our E-mods this year are going to move to 500 to win. And when you get to 14 cars, we do have a pay break. So when you get to 14 cars, you're going to go to second place, which is 300 to win. But here's where I throw a little bit of mix in it, Caleb, is if you go 24 cars, we're going to pay you 1,000 to win.
Absolutely.
So bring me the cars, and I'm going to show you the money, and that's going to be an everyday deal, an every week deal. So guys like the Mod Light guys and the IMCA sanction, man, you know, guess what I'm going to do this year, Caleb? I promise I want to pay 1,000 to win every single night in the factory stock. You know why? We averaged 48 last year.
Wow. That's a number. So, that is a number.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to pay 1,000 to win every single night. And you know what? They deserve it. They deserve it. You can't back down from that.
Not one bit. And that's kind of the thing that really, you know, helps keep that average right there, is they know that it will be consistent with that every week, that you are going to keep doing that if they get 24 plus cars. And, you know, it's just kind of, I would say it's a true testament to the success that Texana has had down there over the last several years, is that, you know, that drive that people keep making. I mean, I know people that come from Houston area and, you know, sometimes even a little bit further north, kind of keeping up with people on social media about making a run down to Edna for the weekend just because they know it's going to be a good race and they're going to be treated right as far as the calls go, and the pay is great. I mean, from a racer standpoint, you can't get much better than that. And
yeah. No, I agree with you. And the calls, I like how you mentioned the calls. So the calls is
because that's going to vary at every track, you know? Yeah, it's because and that's something that people don't understand is, you know, you can have the race director in the press box and he sees one thing, but yet the corner man sees another thing. And so you have to have that trust and that communication with everybody on the team, because perception, that's a hell of a thing. I mean, even from a camera standpoint, you know, you can roll some of the stuff back from the Race on Texas on demand, or even, when you're on Speed Pass, just kind of back it up a little bit and then catch back up. But, the camera is going to show you one angle, but if you got a guy in the corner that sees something different, it's a big deal. I don't think people really understand the levity of what comes from situations like that.
Absolutely. And it's tough. And I tell you, I've been trying to get Anthony to do me some instant replay. I'll be honest, but I don't want to say I pride myself in making calls, but I pride myself in making calls. I want to make sure that I try to make the right call every time. But I'll tell you what I try to do also is I try to go back and watch, and this is why I have Speed Pass. I go back and watch every event from the start to the finish, and I probably rewind and watch it again 14,000 times when there's a call to be made to try to figure out, did I make the right call? Did my team make the right call?
And how
did
can we
do the
improve?
right thing? Yeah. And then I coach them. I talk to my people. If I don't think somebody's the right person to make the call, I remove that person. But if you're going to run a business and you're going to expect to treat people fair, you better do everything you can to make sure you're doing the right thing. And so I work real hard and I tell people all the time, I'm going to go look at it. I'm going to watch it on RaceOnTexas, and I'm going to see if we screwed you, and I'm going to make it right. And I paid a lot of money doing that. Or I might just say, hey, it was a really good call. I'm sorry you don't feel the same way, but that's how it works, because that was the right call to make at the time. So RaceOnTexas gives us the option to, at least on the back end, man, we're never going to please every person. You know that, and I know that. But
absolutely,
damn sure ought to have the opportunity to go watch the race on Texas and try to understand it and see where we made a mistake, or maybe we didn't make a mistake. It's, that's what it's about. When you're making judgment calls, that's a tough deal. So at least go watch it, go understand it, and improve. Try to improve your team, and that's what I do. I try to improve the team, not just me. I try to improve the team and make sure we're making the best calls we can make.
Absolutely, man. Game film goes beyond just regular professional sports and things like that. I mean, you as a driver, outside of just from the owner standpoint and the business breakdown, drivers can go back and look and see, well, I entered the corner too high here. I'm a little tight through the center here. What were the track conditions? It gives them an opportunity to go back and do the same thing that you were doing. And improvement, I mean, any way around, improvement any direction that you go is always going to be a great thing, because, what's the old quote about insanity? When you're repeating the same mistakes over and over, expecting a different result, you gotta reinvent the game, and that's something that you're right on track with, man, is, doing everything you can to keep making dirt track racing great again.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm lucky enough.
Pass that one up.
Yeah, that was good. I'm lucky enough that I've been involved for a while, right? So I had South Texas Speedway for about 10 years. I sold it in 2013, and there was a little race on Texas back then, but it was nowhere near the level it is today. And I can't tell you how much advanced and how much better things are right now today in this world, thanks to things like RaceOnTexas and Speed Pass and the live, and it just keeps advancing to a different level, and it really helps us to learn, to improve, and it also helps a racer. It helps a racer to have some defense to come back and say, hey, you screwed me. I'm okay with that. I really am. I want them to have that opportunity to come say, you screwed me, look at this. Most of the time I already say, I already saw it, and most of the time I've already called them before they could even call and tell me.
Correct.
But because I'm worried about it, I don't, it ain't just like, oh man, maybe if I just keep my mouth shut and don't look, it'll go away. It's never going to go away. When you mess with the racer and their money, they're not going to be happy.
Not at all. It doesn't go away because it's on social media within 5 hours.
Exactly. So the best thing you can do is just man, be man enough to step up and say, hey, we screwed this up, and here's how we fix it. And Race on Texas is really brought a lot of that to the surface that maybe it wasn't there in the past. But to me, it's very important to keeping the sport strong and growing and extending out to. I want to see this last for years. You know, I got in this go-kart deal with L87 a long time ago with Lawrence, and our deal is growing young racers. And
Absolutely.
I was already racing in 2013. When I sold South Texas Speedway, I'd already been racing go-karts for 5 to 7 years with kids that are all now adult racers. Cody Leonard, who's winning and going to Bristol, winning freaking late model champions. That kid was racing a go-kart at my track at one point. That's building champions. So every promoter in the business has to be looking at, how do I grow this sport to keep it alive in the next 25 years? And I can tell you that I'm 20 years into going, yep, it's still going, and we're getting better. And we're getting better because of things like Speed Pass and Race on Texas. We advance that kind of technology and importance. It really even makes another step up, and it's really good, man. It's great, and Edna's benefiting from all that, along with L87 and other tracks.
And you mentioned Cody Leonard right there, and that's one thing that is a real proof in the pudding kind of deal is when you look at a lot of drivers like him that start out in go-karts, and everything that a driver learns in a go-kart carries over to a big car, because it's cool to go in there and throw the car sideways and everything and look like a badass, but you got to be smooth, and that's one of the key things that you learn in go-kart racing is being smooth and being consistent lap after lap and hitting those marks. And Cody had one hell of a year last year. I mean, there's no denying that, and it's a little bit of foreshadowing. Hopefully, the next couple weeks, be able to catch up with them when they get back from Bristol to kind of recap how that trip went. Because I mean, Bristol, that in and of itself, I mean, one, just to be there for a race, but two, to actually get to race it is that's going to be really cool, and it's done a lot of good hype, as far as people getting excited about it. But it'll be really really fun to watch the progression through the season of seeing how that goes. I know he's got a new car and been getting it dialed in, but at any rate, we can keep going on drivers and breaking everything down and have our own, little separate deal there. But, you mentioned 20 years. So how'd you get started in racing in the first place? I mean, to be around in the ball game on the management side 20 years, but, you've been around it for sure longer than that.
Well, from a kid child standpoint, all the way down, like most of us as a baby, getting carried in the grandstands with our father. So my family raced cars at CC Speedway for years. And then eventually one of my cousins that ain't much older than me, he was a driver, and he got me to come out and do his tire work and help him. So I kind of got into that. And then later, me and that same cousin, Wayne Norrell, we're racing big cars, San Antonio Speedway modifieds, and he got hit by the fire truck, broke his back.
Oh,
yeah. So he was down, and I was racing, and man, me and him were building cars together. We were the best of the best friends we could be, and we really got tight. And then when he got his back broke, it kind of got a little crazy, and I said, well, hey, while you're down, let's start our own series. San Antonio sucks. Sorry for the word. It wasn't going so well, and we want to travel a little bit, so we started the Texas Asphalt Modified Series. And at that point, I'll be honest with you, I'd already run a group of mini sprints called the South Texas Mini Sprints. I'd run them a couple years, and we got O'Reilly's to sponsor them. And we went from racing for $45 a week to $500 a week. And so I promoted that for a couple years, and I got with him, and I quit that stuff because of some ill feelings, whatever. And we moved on to modified. I went to San Antonio. It seems like a big jump. It is. It's just crazy. But anyway, we raced cars a little bit there, and then we got into that Texas Asphalt Modified Series, and then I started working for a guy named Doc Godfredson. He took over CC Speedway and hired me to be the promoter, and I ran CC Speedway for a couple of years on the asphalt, which two of the finest years of my life. I freaking love CC Speedway. That was the bull ring of all bull rings on asphalt. We tore up a lot of stuff. I mean, we wrecked a lot of stuff on purpose. It was great. And then I took over South Texas Speedway with Gary Perry, and I tell you what, Gary's the one that talked me into that. Gary Perry, Chuck Perry's dad. Chuck Perry, a local racer here at South Texas Speedway, his dad said, "Hey, let's open that dirt track up." So I said, "All right," and we went to it and we bought it, and we leased it for a few years and we bought it. And then I brought in Troy Cottrell and we built the bar. I needed some cash to build a bar,
right.
So I brought in Troy and we built the bar. And I just trying to advance the business, and then eventually I saw the opportunity. Somebody offered enough money to just tell me to leave. So I left and I took a short break and, just living on the family ranch here and living life. And then I got back to announcing with I-37, announcing there, and I was announcing Edna, and I'm announcing multiple tracks. So I like to announce just like you do. This is a sport I love, and I like to talk, and I'm full of shit. I talk a lot. So next thing you know, here it is. And then when Edna was going to close and it was not going to be open, and it frustrated me. I don't want to see dirt tracks in Texas die. So I said, "Hey, how about leasing it to me and I'll keep it going?" They said, "Okay." And still we're here. We sold it for them. We kept it alive. So that's where we're at today. So it's been a long road, but man, I tell you what, it's been fun. Dirt track and asphalt, all of it. Racing's fun. I mean, I'm sorry, it's stressful. There hadn't been a day of my life that in the last 20 years that I hadn't been stressed out over a race car, racetrack, race something. But
I feel that.
Man, I tell you what, I enjoy it.
So if you had to look back over all the years, from running the roads and doing the racing and the management side of things for the last 20, what would you say would be one of the most iconic things that sticks out in your head as to, something that you always remember and look back on to always kind of keep it moving forward and just kind of use it for inspiration, I guess you could say, to keep improving?
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah,
I'll
buddy.
be honest with you, that's pretty tough. 2020 was by far the best year of my life. That sounds ridiculous.
I must say, compared to most
happened.
people, what?
Yeah, exactly. So 2020 was tough for 99% of the people in the world, and it was absolutely the best year of racing I've ever had when it comes to we had the car counts. We had a season where we raced, Caleb. We raced 11 races, and we never had less than 100 cars. And our highest was 198 cars in one night. We didn't have that ever in my career. I've never even come close to that. So, and I put on a lot bigger shows than that. The night we had 198, I paid 4 times the amount I paid that night, maybe 5 times the amount I paid that night, and had half that many cars.
Right.
So, man, it's hard to say. Defining moments. We've had so many huge races. We've tried hard. We've had the big dog shootout on asphalt. And, hey, I don't know that I have that one moment in my life that was like, dude, this is what it was. That really drove this. But I can tell you that my cousin Wayne and me and just overall, we took a beating for a lot of years trying to make the best of what we had out of what we could. And we really worked hard at it. And it seems like it's paying off late in life here, but we hope that it'll continue with COVID and everything. It's kind of starting to wind down, I think, with Texas opening up,
Right. Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
And we hope that people will still come to the racetrack. That's the key, right? And it seemed like the only thing to do in the world last year, this is how I felt. The only thing to do in the world last year was go to a racetrack, because everything else was, we're not going to go. We're not going to open. We're not going to do that. But hell, the racetrack's open. Let's go over there.
I couldn't agree more.
So how do we keep that, right? I hope we showed all those damn people that came how great dirt track or racetrack, just racing is. Now, come on back. That's the key. Come on back, right?
And
we want them to come back.
I feel that'll be the case with 2021 is, with a lot of the entertainment industry still kind of closed down, even with the state opening up, I still think that a lot of businesses are gonna be a little leery on that. And I see, I wouldn't say, man, that it'd be the exact same numbers, but I still think that it'll be a significant number that comes back. Because
I agree.
I mean, any track that I went to last season, whether to just announce or watch, it was crazy to watch just the droves of people walking in the grandstands. I mean, I went to Thunder Valley, their opening weekend. I believe it was 9th of May, and went and watched a late model kid that my company sponsors, and it was a line to get in the pits. I don't think I've ever had to stand in a line to get in the pits at a racetrack in a very long time. But man, with 3 windows open, I was in line for at least 5 minutes, and that's just the pits. And going up in the grandstands, I was talking with Steve Cape in between races upstairs in the box, and you look out. If anyone that hasn't had the chance to see the view of a racetrack from a press box, you get to see everything. I mentioned that last episode, and you really do. It's pretty neat. And, when you're looking out and you're getting to see just all these people just packed at a racetrack because there's nothing else to go do, and they're doing something different. They're doing something that's interesting. It's going to make you come back. I mean, that's how I got involved in racing. My uncle bought the racetrack here in Beaumont, and cool. Yeah, I'll go watch the sprint cars race. They look cool. I've seen them, videos of them wrecking before on the internet. Oh, that looks neat. That looks exciting. Wahoo. Man, all it took was one trip. I was wanting to go back every week just because of the adrenaline. Even though, before I started driving, the adrenaline you get from watching and just kind of in awe of, guy throwing it in the corner on a slide job, missing by just a foot or less. It's just like, what? It's... Man, I always just kind of explain it to people is you got to see it, you got to see it to believe it. And I feel that, once you get people in the door and in the gate, the rest is history. It's going to be a good year. I'm gonna mark it now, man. It's going to be a good year. I mean, not just for y'all, but I feel that, every track is going to have a really good year. Because I think that people they're fed up with the way that, things have been going. They're tired of sitting around, tired of not doing anything, and it's going to be oh man, I wouldn't say a monumental year because there were enough monumental moments in 2020 as far as overcoming obstacles, to try to get racetracks open, to try to find ways to get drivers in the pits and get approvals from counties to do things. But in the long run of schemes, it's going to be 2021 is going to be monumental in its own right, and man, it's going to be fun to see that happen. Not just all across the state, but with y'all down there, with all the big things that y'all have going on, it's going to be fun to watch it all come to fruition from y'all. And man, well, hey, look, we're hitting here at 11 o'clock at night. We're gonna launch this thing tomorrow, and so we're gonna cut it short a little bit. That way you can get some work done, man. I appreciate you cutting out some time.
Couple things, Caleb.
Yeah, go ahead.
Couple things. I agree with you 100% on everything you said. You're spot on. I think 2021 is going to be great. We got some great things at Edna. There's great things at every racetrack. So all I can say to anybody is log on and watch RaceOnTexas Speed Pass. Watch and get out to your local racetrack if you can't be there. But
right.
We also have 3 late model races coming in. We have 2 305 sprint car races coming in, a lot of dwarf car races coming in. We got some mini sprint races coming in. Edna's got a lot of good and some truck stuff coming in. I'm still working on I really would like to have some truck and tractor pools, and COVID's got them all jacked up to the point I don't know if I can make them find the right weekend for them or not. I'm hoping they'll get there. And you know what? I'll have them on RaceOnTexas too. Woo! If I can get them to come. but we're working real hard at trying to do the best we can to provide a quality family entertainment for people to come out and enjoy, to sit there, watch something they enjoy, and get it done at a decent hour, at a decent time, at a decent cost. And then when they can't, they can always go to Race on Texas and sit in their living room like I do on a lot of race nights, because I only race every other week. Because the off weeks, guess what I do? I sit in my living room and tie on Race on Texas, and I watch it on Speed Pass live. You can't beat it. So get out there, people, and enjoy racing, period. So thank you for calling. Thanks for having me on board. Man, I can't say enough about Race on Texas and what they do. I can tell you that a couple years ago, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't on board. And Chris David will tell you, me and Chris David have had some very ugly conversations. We have not had the best relationship in the world.
Well, let's call him real quick. Let's get into this.
Yeah, let's talk about it. But I tell you what, he knows. I bet you I'm the only one in Texas that has Race on Texas and Speed Bass on every armband going into my pits today. I bet I'm the only one. So,
well, hey,
there's a change,
right there, yeah, that right there could be a challenge to every track. I mean,
yeah, there's a change. Point being, we don't all got to be the same pain in the butt all the time. Let's adapt. And let's just work on what's best for the sport of racing every day. And that's all I do. And I tell you what, also, you'll find that every shirt I'm going to have wearing at the track will have Race on Texas and Speed Pass on it. I'm on board. And I think why? Because y'all are doing great things for the sport. Thank you.
Man, we really appreciate it. I mean, all the kind words that, I mean, from what you've said tonight, from what Kevin Rogers has said last episode, and, you know, all the fans and racers and other promoters that, you know, say that throughout the season. You know, we really appreciate it, but at the same time, it wouldn't be possible without all the all. You know, without everyone coming together and supporting the platforms that we're putting out there, the new technologies, the new, you know, the new adjustments, you know, that we've all had to go through with COVID. You know, if it weren't for y'all, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing, and that's the God's honest truth on that. And you know, it's just kind of one of those things. You know, it's a yin and yang. You know, one supports the other supports the other, and it's all copacetic. Big word, 50-cent word right there. Just don't ask me to spell it, because I'll have to Google it.
I don't even know what it means, but I have no clue. But you ought to wrap up every show with this.
All right,
you ought to wrap up every show with, make sure you check your email and fix your password because of the updates to Race on Texas. Because I got about 20 text messages last weekend. I can't log in. What's the problem? And I sent it to Chris, and Chris is like, "Oh, and we sent y'all multiple emails saying you got to do this." Okay, sorry, Chris. He was not happy with me. So at the end of the day, wrap up your show with, "Hey, check your emails. Read them." I don't read my email. I get it. I'm logged in now. It works perfect. But if you haven't updated your password, Caleb, I'm telling you, you got to do it or you're not getting in. Just saying.
That's right. Or come first race of the season, man, it's gonna be a barrage of emails.
You're pissed. Why is this happening to me?
But between everybody frustrated that they can't get into their email, or say get into their account because of that, and then also at the same time getting the barrage of emails of why is everybody asking the same question. I agree, but hey, y'all heard it first here, right here from Owen Pittman.
That's right.
Check your emails. Go to the search bar. Type in Race on Texas. Go to the one where it reminds you about updating your stuff. Update your stuff. Takes 5 minutes.
Passwords.
You know, it's that simple. I mean, screenshot your password. Just reuse the same one. Change a letter or two. I mean.
Hey, Caleb, you know what worked for me is I wasn't smart enough to check my emails, so when I went to log in and it wouldn't work, I said, forgot password.
That's right. Absolutely. Man, I couldn't tell you how many times I do that.
I updated my password, and it worked after that.
I couldn't tell you.
You can always do that.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. That's the easier way to do it. If you don't feel like digging through your email address, just try to log in, forget your password, then go to your email account, reset your password. Boom. That's
Hell yeah. Get your race on Texas. Get your speed pack, folks. Come on.
And that's a I didn't even think about making that announcement, but boom, there it is, man. It's gonna happen. And now that you say that, I've got to go online and update mine.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
I know how that feeling is.
I'm not gonna lie. I may be in the press box Saturday night at a undisclosed track just yet. With Speed Pass pulled up. Kind of watch and see what's going on. I mean, because there I go, getting ready to wrap it up now. Here I'm dabbling into something else, but I kind of feel that that racing kind of should. At least I know it's something I'm going to start trying to do is update people in the stands, and the pits, of course. Over the PA system. Kind of like things that are happening. Like you go to an athletic event, you go to a baseball game. You'll see what's going on across the league, across the division, and kind of get a little updates about different things going on while you're there. In the downtime, and that's something that something to be fun is especially with a lot of the tracks that have my race pass. Up there in the booth, just pull up my race pass. Hey, so and so is going to be starting this way in the feature. Yeah, little things like that. Side note, squirrel.
Yeah.
ADD.
The other thing is we got to get. So I got Anthony to give me a QR code for hitting it and going straight to Speed Pass, but we got to get this podcast on the same thing because there's a lot of good data on this podcast that I've heard every time I've listened. And that's most of them and I may not listen when they were right out, but I listen to them and go back and see them. But get this podcast out there where people see it and understand it. And it's a really good deal, man. Y'all are killing it with this deal, and it's pretty important. So keep that podcast going and let's get Race on Texas to push the podcast out to some of these racetracks, and we'll get us a QR code or get us something that people will drive right to the podcast, man. It's pretty important, and thanks for doing all this. It's pretty cool. Man,
you're most welcome. I'm enjoying it week in and week out. I've told a lot of my friends this, and now I'm telling everybody now, but when I first started doing it, I was a little nervous, a little anxious, about like, what do you do? It's just kind of you think about doing
bullshit.
A good, you think so hard about trying to do a good job, but when you just relax and enjoy it and have fun with it, it ends up being 20 times different. I mean, I have a couple friends of mine that don't watch racing, they don't go to races, but one of them told me this afternoon on a phone call, we were talking about a golf tournament that I'm putting on coming up, and they said, man, I got to tell you. And I'm like, what? And he said, I'm really enjoying the podcast. I don't like racing, but I'm enjoying the podcast. And I was like, dude, that means a lot. Like, it's kind of funny when you hear those kind of comments and things like that because, you are always going to be your worst critic. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Sure.
And
I hate my announcing, but most people like it.
Man, I can't go back and listen to myself. I can't do it. I just can't hear it.
Oh, I can't either. It's terrible.
I almost kind of think that's every announcer's thing. I don't think any announcer likes going back and just being like, oh, yeah, I wonder how I sounded.
Yeah, you sound terrible, right? Shit.
But
hey, I'd like to go play golf, so don't forget about us down there.
Hey, and Fetters and I, we always kind of joke around about going to play golf, and it's one of those things that when I do get to make my way down there, I'm gonna bring my sticks. I already told him, I said, man, I'm gonna bring my sticks, and we gotta go get an 18 in, and I don't know about what do you think? I mean, the day after we can go Sunday morning and go play. I know Saturday morning be way too, Saturday morning before racing, that'd be a little crazy, but hell, I'll just get down there Friday and then we can go play Friday afternoon and ease our way into the weekend with a couple ice cold beverages. I'm just,
That sounds like a plan.
I'm going to play tomorrow. I got a 8:30 tee time. And once I get done playing, I got to knock out a few service calls and then drive all the way to Houston and back. So it's gonna be a fun Friday. But I mean,
yeah, I got an 8:30 tee time at Texana Raceway to make sure we got a racetrack to run on.
Well, that
water truck tea time.
There you go. Hey, make sure it's gonna be 90-degree rule though, because get a little too sloppy, people won't be too happy walking with wet feet.
Yeah, well, I'll get over it.
That's right. I mean, you want a good quality racing surface, or you want to have wet shoes. I mean,
It's only Friday, so they need a little wet on Friday for making sure Saturday's good.
That's right. That's right. And man, we
It's
could
all
go
about the plan.
absolutely. We could go into a whole nother tear about prepping a racetrack, but we'll save that for part 2. We'll save that for part 2. We'll have a Owen Pittman revisit a little bit later in the season and talk about track prep and how things are going and things like that. But yeah,
that ought to be every racetrack. We ought to all have a part 2. Let's plan on talking about race surface prep.
Yeah, let's do it.
The shop talk on prep.
You ready? Here it is. The pen clicked. I'm writing it down because everyone's gonna. It's all. I'm not gonna say the same process. It all has the same outcome for the same goal. You all want the same thing, a good quality racing service, but everybody goes about it a different way. And
it's also talk about it when it comes summer, when it's hot and we got 150 degrees, it seems like, and we can't stand it. Right now, it's pretty easy, honestly. Right? You throw a little water and that stuff don't go nowhere because it's nice and cool. Guess what? When it's 100 degrees and you throw a little water and it's dry in about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I promise. Different day. So
man, but
we got to talk in the middle of summer about this.
Yeah, but I mean, between just the sun, but not only that, but the wind. I mean, the wind playing a factor and blowing things out. I mean, back at Beaumont, we, God rest his soul, John Colander. He, best track prep I've ever seen as far as week in, week out. He did the track prep stuff at when it was Motorama, Speedway 90, GTRP, Royal Purple Raceway over there in Baytown. And every time that he got on and was doing the track prep for the week, it was a good, consistent, smooth, fast track. He had it down. Like, oh my gosh, just crazy. And spoiler alert for people that don't think about it, the moon phase affects what's going on as far as track prep. Woo!
Yeah.
Not many people think about that.
Don't work on that.
Not many people don't think about that aspect as far as the water table moving with the with the.
I'll be honest with you. The only thing I look at when it comes to the moon table is when I castrate my cattle, but that's a different deal.
Yeah,
I never thought about it from a racetrack standpoint, but Randy Waller is who I get a lot of data from. You ought to ask Randy Waller sometime.
Absolutely,
because sprint guys, Randy Waller, that guy, he knows track prep better than 99% of the people in the world.
You know what? I'm gonna see Randy. I'm about to give it away where I'm gonna be this weekend, but I'm gonna see Randy this weekend. And I'm gonna joke with him a little bit and see what we can maybe come up with and talk to. But I mean, I don't know how it would be down with Edna, but I mean, I know with Southeast Texas and some of our tracks, with our relationship as far as how close we are to that water line at the coast, and especially with Beaumont, who's out there in the rice fields, it would play a difference. It would play a difference. But hey, I'm telling you, it's written down. It's on my wall right in front of my desk right here at the office. Shop Talk Trap Prep episode 2 exclamation points. You know what? Hey, look, I'm even going to take a picture of it, and it's going to go on the Facebook page. Like, it's going to happen. We're gonna make a note during the summertime, and be really cool to get. I don't know how many people you can have on a conference call all at once from across the state, but Yeah,
let's get about 10 tracks.
Let's do it.
We all bitch. Let's all bitch at one time.
Well,
that's what we need.
Hey, look, better
we
yet.
We need a shop talk with a lot of tracks. That would be fantastic.
Especially, like I just thought about this. So for the track prep episode, we'll have a track from down in South Texas, somebody up from the North Texas area, East Texas, West Texas, towards that area, Cotton Bowl, and I'll kind of see with what different, climates that we have in the different part of the state as far as temperatures, humidities, and everything in between, how that all affects everybody's decision on their track prep. Like, that's new episode. I'm telling y'all, it's going to happen. We're going to coin it. It's written down. Money.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, man, we Oh yeah, I can tell you and we can both just keep talking. I mean, you get two announcers, within that background. That's just.
Yeah.
I graduated with a broadcasting degree, so I mean, anytime you get someone with communications, we can linger.
Yeah.
But at any rate,
I graduated with a beer drinking degree. It's a little different.
I earned that too. I had to get a little serious after you fail a few classes, but it happens, to say the least. But hey. That's just one of those things. It's all about how you recover. It's all about how you get back up and keep going.
That's right. So all I would say is to wrap this up is
come on with it.
At what point are we going to see Caleb McFarland at Texana Raceway Park? That's kind of my curiosity.
And that's a question. I mean, as well, I'm sure as you know, between me, you, Anthony, and Chris. Well, not you and I directly, but indirectly with communication stuff. It was close to happening last fall for the big end of the year.
The Clash,
and things just kind of got a little last minute on the schedule. But
you
know what? Hey, we're gonna archive it here in the podcast. I'm gonna get with you on some of the open dates that I have, and we're gonna put a weekend together.
Sure,
we're gonna do it.
I tell you what,
we're gonna do it.
We got some great. Yeah, we got some great late model races. We got some great sprint car races, and if I can't get Rodney Rodriguez, man, that guy is great. So I enjoy him. He's coming this weekend, and otherwise I wind up being the announcer, which nobody likes that. So if I can get you down anytime, just come enjoy, come see what it's about, and I tell you what, I don't think you'll be disappointed in what you get for quality in product, and then I know we won't be disappointed in you. So just come enjoy us and check it out. It's fun.
Man, I appreciate it, and I just made another note. I really do. It's kind of like with the with the podcast. You think about and worry how you do, and you get told the opposite. It's just kind of it's a good reaffirming feeling, man. I really appreciate that about the confidence in what I can bring to the table, and man, I'm looking forward to it. I wrote on another note. It's gonna go. I'm gonna move the note before I take a picture of it because that's my tax information. Yay taxes! But I'm gonna look at the dates, and I'm gonna try to pin it for one of the SUS races from the big sprint car dates down there, and yeah, man, it'll be fun to bring the SUS down there and get to have a good time. And, oh yeah, there it is. It's written down. It's archived in the podcast. Oh, and we're going to make it happen. And we know what else we're going to make happen, folks. The night button. Because guess we have now pulled it to about 11:20 tonight. Episode's going to launch on Friday. Owen, I can't thank you enough again for joining me on here. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's always kind of, a toss-up, for those who don't know, we've never talked before. This is our first time talking on the phone, texting back and forth. So you have a little bit of, little, I'm going to say anxiousness about, well, how's it going to go? But, man, not a worry in the world. I really appreciate kind of giving us a little bit of background on, on your history within the sport, with all the things that y'all have going down there at Texana and L87 and everything that y'all are trying to do moving forward.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all. As always, Caleb, I've been trying to get a hold of you, or y'all been trying to get a hold of me, honestly. But
that's right.
Point is, man, we're trying hard to just do the right things and work together. Y'all are a great bunch. RaceOnTexas is the key to racetracks today. Okay, so survival of racing today comes down to how hard we all work at it and how much importance that RaceOnTexas provides us. Guys like yourself and these podcasts, and it's at a different level of what we get out to the community. So thank you for putting in the effort you do. This podcast deal can really pay off when it comes to getting the word out and the things out and what we want to see out. And man, it's really cool. So thanks again. I appreciate you very much.
You're most welcome anytime, Owen, anytime. Well, folks, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, feel free to shoot us an email or a message on the Shop Talk Facebook page. We'll do our best to get those answered. as they say, it doesn't cost anything to ask, and the worst you can get to know. In the meantime, as we wrap things up every week, I am Caleb McFarland. Thank you, and good night.